Look at these two worlds. On one side, chaos, panic, emotional roller coasters. On the other, precision, purpose, and a system that survived for 100 million years. While everyone else is losing their minds about crypto crashes and celebrating new all-time highs, there's a financial strategy that's been working perfectly since before humans walked the earth. It doesn't care about Elon Musk's tweets. It's not worried about the Fed's interest rates. It's been perfected by nature's most resilient, most disciplined investors, the ant colony. And today, we're going to apply their ancient wisdom to modern cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, XRP, and even newcomers like Crepe. Welcome to the Ants Ledger, where we unlock the secrets of personal finance, wealth building, and financial literacy through the incredible world of ants. You might be wondering, what could ants possibly teach me about crypto? Well, everything. Because successful investing isn't about predicting the future. It's about building systems that survive uncertainty. And nobody builds survival systems better than ants. Let me introduce you to your new investment team. Every successful ant colony operates with 3 specialized roles, and your crypto portfolio should be built on exactly the same principles. First, we have the scouts, the high-risk explorers. These are the brave souls who venture into unknown territory. They represent about 5 to 10% of the colony, and most of them will fail. But the few who succeed, they discover resources that can transform the entire colony's future. Second, the workers, the steady backbone. These are the majority of the colony, reliable, consistent, and focused on building. They don't chase excitement, they build trails, gather resources, and maintain the infrastructure that keeps everything running. And finally, the queen, the foundation everything depends on. She represents stability, longevity, and the core of the entire operation. Without her, the colony collapses. With her, everything else becomes possible. Now, here's the crucial insight. A colony that sends all its ants scouting starves. A colony with only workers stagnates. And a colony without a queen doesn't exist. The magic is in the balance. Let's start with your queen, and in the crypto world, that's unquestionably Bitcoin. Just like the queen ant is essential for the colony's survival, Bitcoin is your portfolio's non-negotiable foundation. Think about what happens when environmental conditions change for an ant colony. When the weather shifts or predators appear, the first thing the colony does is protect the queen. They'll sacrifice workers, redirect scouts, do whatever it takes to preserve their foundation. This is exactly how you should think about Bitcoin in your portfolio. When the US president talks about crypto regulation, like recent statements from the White House suggesting, and your takeaway, no matter what happens in crypto, your Bitcoin position is your foundation. Protect it, maintain it, and never gamble with it. Now meet your worker ants. Coins like XRP and XLM. These aren't the flashy, exciting scouts that make headlines. They're the steady builders creating real-world financial infrastructure. Think about what worker ants do. They build permanent trails to reliable food sources. They maintain the nest. They handle the day-to-day work that keeps the colony fed and secure. It's not glamorous, but it's essential. XRP and XLM are doing exactly this in the crypto world. They're building bridges between traditional finance and blockchain technology. XRP is working with banks to settle cross-border payments in seconds instead of days. XLM is focused on financial inclusion for the unbanked. Recent analysis from insert actual expert or analysis firm suggests these worker coins could see sustained growth precisely because they're solving real problems, not just speculating. They're like ants that have found a permanent, reliable food source. It might not make for exciting headlines, but it feeds the colony year after year. The key insight here is that worker ants represent utility. They're not trying to moonshot, they're trying to be useful. And in the long run, utility creates lasting value. While scout ants might deliver 1,000% returns one year and disappear the next, worker ants provide steady, reliable growth that compounds over time. Most investors underestimate worker ants because they're not as exciting as scouts. But a colony without workers is a colony that can't capitalize on the resources its scouts find.
This is where things get exciting. The scout ants. These are coins like Crepe and other emerging projects. This is your high-risk, high-reward allocation, and you need to understand the ant colony's rules for scouting. Here's how scouting works in nature. For every 10 scout ants that venture out, 9 might find nothing. They'll exhaust themselves, face predators, and return empty-handed. But the one that discovers a sugar cube? That single ant can lead the entire colony to a resource that feeds them for months. This is exactly the dynamic with emerging cryptocurrencies. Recent predictions from insert actual crypto influencer or analyst suggest some of these scout coins could deliver explosive returns. But remember, most will fail completely. The key is that the colony never sends all its ants scouting. They always maintain the queen and workers while sending out a calculated percentage of scouts. This is where most crypto investors fail spectacularly. They see a few success stories and go all in on scouts. They're the equivalent of an ant colony that sends its queen out scouting. It's a fundamentally broken strategy that usually ends in disaster. The ant colony teaches us 2 crucial rules about scouting. First, never risk more than you can afford to lose. Second, when a scout finds something valuable, the entire colony mobilizes to secure that resource while maintaining their core positions. So let's put this all together into your ant colony-approved crypto strategy. Based on the wisdom of millions of years of evolution, here's your allocation. 50% to your queen, Bitcoin, your foundation. This is your rock, your store of value, your non-negotiable core. 30% to worker ants, established projects with real utility like XRP and XLM. These are your growth engines, your steady performers, your utility players. 20% to scout ants, your calculated high-risk bets like creep and other emerging projects. This is your moonshot allocation, your lottery tickets, your innovation bet. This balanced approach lets you participate in crypto's explosive growth while protecting you from its legendary volatility. When news breaks or prices swing wildly, you don't panic, you simply remember which type of ant you're dealing with. Is this Bitcoin regulation news? Protect your queen. Is this a new partnership for XRP? Support your workers. Is this a new technological breakthrough for an altcoin? Evaluate your scouts. The power of this system is that it gives you a framework for decision-making instead of emotional reactions. While everyone else is emotionally reacting to every tweet and price swing, you now have nature's blueprint for crypto success, a system refined over 100 million years. If this ancient wisdom helped you see crypto investing in a new light, subscribe to the Ants Ledger and hit that notification bell. We turn nature's timeless strategies into your modern financial advantage. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. Which type of crypto ant are you primarily right now? Are you a conservative worker, a risk-taking scout, or are you focused on building your entire colony? What's one insight you're taking away from this video? Thanks for watching, and remember, the best investment strategies aren't found on Wall Street. They're written in nature. Now, go build your colony.